Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing great. So let's continue with our discussion on reconciliation of cost and financial books, which we started in the last lecture, chapter number 8, right? So in the last lecture we discussed that why there is a need for reconciliation, in which case there is a need for reconciliation only and only in case of non-integrated bookkeeping, where the cost and the financial books are being separately maintained, right? So at the year end you have to reconcile them, you have to bring them to a common place, right? Because ultimately the financial books are to be submitted and prepared and closed, right? So a lot of things need to be done. Then we discussed about the various reasons that why there is a difference between the cost and financial profits, right? I hope everything is clear related to this. Now in this lecture what we are going to do is we are going to see that how this reconciliation takes place. That means how do we prepare this reconciliation statement, how this whole process of reconciliation goes about, right? So all these things we are going to see in this lecture, right? So before we start with this lecture, all of you be ready with your handbooks, the KSJ handbooks. This is the concept book, right? And your notebooks. All those who want the concept books and the question answer book, they can visit our website, that is www.ksjteaching.org, right? So these books are definitely going to help you guys, right? With these free lectures, the lectures are going to be absolutely free of cost on YouTube. The only investment is this handbooks, right? And some of the people, they were asking, sir, is the handbook free, right? So I have a simple question again for all of them, that tomorrow you are going to be the professionals, you are going to be chartered accountants, you are going to be CMAs, you are going to be company secretaries or anything, right? Are you going to provide your services free of cost? Are you going to provide all your services? I'm not going, you may be providing one or two services free of cost, but my question is, are you going to provide all your services free of cost, right? So you will get the answer there. See, if you have to make your future, a small investment has to be done. If you say that without investing a money in anything, right, my money grows, then that is not possible, right? If you will deposit something in the bank only, then bank will pay you interest. If you say I will not deposit the money, but bank should pay me interest, that is not possible. And all these things, there is a hell lot of efforts being put into all this preparations of these videos and these handbooks and other courses which are also available on a mobile app, right? So there is a lot of effort that we are putting in, and that is a small reward that we expect from you people, that you should subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with maximum people. If you can't do anything else, just share with the people, right? That is one thing that we really expect from you people, and you people are not doing it. Otherwise, we are going to stop this. Now, let's talk about how this whole process of reconciliation goes around. This is a reconciliation statement. How to prepare this statement? Listen to it very carefully. The first and the foremost thing that we need to understand is that we are reconciling two profits. One is the net profit as per the cost accounting and net profit as per the financial accounts, right? Now, we'll start with one of the profits. You have studied about the bank reconciliation when you were in the smaller classes. You have studied about the bank reconciliation. That is the reconciliation of the bank passbook with your own books, isn't it? What do you used to do in that? We start with the balance as per bank or balance as per our books and reach to the other end. Similarly, in this case also, we are going to start with the net profit as per cost account. Now, sir, can we start with the net profit as per financial accounts? Yes, you can. But if we look at it from the practical point of view, what will happen is, sir, you have to adjust your cost profits as per financial profits. Why? Ultimately the financial books will prevail. Ultimately the financial books are to be closed and submitted in the form of income tax returns and all those things, right? So what you have to do is you have to adjust your profits, and whichever profit you want to adjust, you should take it at the upper part, right? You should start with that profit which you want to adjust. Now, In some of the books, specifically for the CMA students, if you look at their modules, right, CMA Institute module, in the chapter of reconciliation, they have normally started with the financial accounts and they have reached the cost accounting profits, right? So this is absolutely perfect, sir. In if the question is doesn't specify anything, you can either start with the cost account or you can start with the financial accounts. That is totally up to you. Only the treatment of the entries will change. So what I am going to do is I am going to teach you starting with the cost account and reaching the financial accounting profits, reconciling the cost account. I'll be adjusting the profit as per cost account, right? So I started with the net profit as per cost account. The first adjustment now, purely financial expenses. Now what will happen in case of purely financial expenses? I've written subtract. Why it is to be subtracted? Right? Why it is to be subtracted? Now again listen to this very carefully. The best way of understanding that which item should be subtracted and which item should be added. Now I'm going to tell you. This is my cost accounting books and this is my financial accounting books. Right? So here in the cost accounts, say my profit is 1 lakh rupees. In the financial account also, my GP, gross profit, is 1 lakh rupees. Now there is a purely financial expense, say rent, right? 10,000 rupees. This is a purely financial expense which is not to be considered in the cost books. Now what will happen here? Here my net profit, will be 90,000. Now we are not going to take this rent in the cost books. That means in the cost books my net profit will be 1 lakh rupees. So now there is a difference. There is a difference. In the financial accounts my profit is 90,000 and in the cost books my profit is 1 lakh rupees. I have to do the adjustment now. And as I told you that I am going to adjust this profit. That means according to me, the profit should be 90,000 and not 1 lakh. So what I will do, from the cost profit, I will subtract 10,000 so that my cost profit is 90,000. Right? Now it matches with my financial profit. Now what I have done? In case of a purely financial expense, I have subtracted that item from the cost profits, right? So that is what I have done. I have subtracted the purely financial expenses. Similarly, the appropriation of profit. Sir, what is this appropriation of profit? Say here, instead of rent, you have appropriated the amount to general reserve, 10,000 rupees. The same scenario. According to the financial books, your net profit is 90,000, whereas as per the cost accounting books, your profit is 1 lakh. Now you will be adjusting your cost profits as per the financial profit. That means you will have to subtract 10,000 from the cost profits so that the cost profit matches with my financial profits. Right? So appropriation of profits will also be subtracted. What is this appropriation of profit? I have already discussed in the reasons, right? Clear, sir? So I started with the cost profit, right? I subtracted the financial expenses. I subtracted the appropriation. Here is one addition, that is the purely financial income. Now listen to it very carefully. I'm going to rub all this. Purely financial income. Listen to it again very, very carefully. Sir, what is going to happen? What is the purely financial income? Say rental income only. 10,000. What will be my net profit in the financial books? That will be 1,10,000. Any doubt? But this financial income I will not consider in the cost books. Right? Because this is of the purely financial nature and any purely financial expenses or income we do not consider in the costing books. We have already studied in the cost sheet also, sir. Isn't it? I told you in the cost sheet that purely financial expenses, remember that point number 7 in the book, right? In our books, in the KSJ handbooks, point number 7, ignore. In the ignore things, I've written the purely financial expenses and incomes which are to be ignored, right, on page number 2 of cost sheet, isn't it? So that means in the costing accounts, my net profit will be 1 lakh, isn't it? My net profit will be 1 lakh. Now what I will do, I will have to adjust my cost profit so that my profit is 1,10,000. So if I have to make this profit 1,10,000, what I will do, I will have to add 10,000, so that this profit is 1,10,000. Now my costing profits match with my financial profits. Clear? So in case of purely financial income, we have to add that income to the costing profits. Right, sir? We are done with this. Then the purely cost expenses. Sir, what will happen in case of purely cost expenses? Listen to it very carefully now. Again, cost books. And here we have financial books. Again, you have the profit, say 1 lakh, right? You have profit, say 1 lakh. Now he's saying purely cost expenses. Very good, sir. Purely cost expenses is talking about. That means any expenses which are recorded in the cost books but not recorded in the financial books. Notional rent, notional salary. So that means here you have an expense of 10,000. Your net profit will be 90,000. Any doubts in this thing? Right? What will be your financial profit? Your financial profit will remain at 1 lakh only, because this is a purely cost expense and this expense is not being considered in the financial books. So my financial books will show the net profit of 1 lakh rupees only. What I have to do now? I have to adjust these cost books. That means I have to adjust this profit as per the financial books. What I will do, I'll add a 10,000 here to make this profit equivalent to the financial books. Clear? Any doubts? Okay, sir. Now, over-absorbed overheads. Listen to it very carefully. What will happen, sir? Let's again make the cost books and we'll make the financial books. Right? Here you have profit of 1 lakh. And here also you have profit of 1 lakh rupees. Right, sir? Say you have overheads and you are given the information that actual overheads 10,000 and absorbed overheads is 15,000. Now tell me the treatment. I have already discussed in the last lecture. Tell me the treatment of overheads. Sir. I have given you the overheads actually incurred. I have given you the overheads absorbed. I have shown you the slide now. Can you tell me the treatment there? Sir, the actual overheads will go in the financial books or the costing books? Sir, costing books. Actual overheads, sir, costing books. Sir, actual overhead, sir, costing books. Very good. Actual overheads will go to the financial books, that is 10,000. Sir, what about absorbed overheads? Now, sir, this will go to the costing book, sir. This will go to the costing book. Yes, this will go to the costing book. Here my overheads will be 15,000. Now, can you tell me the profit? Sir? What will be the profit under financial books? 90,000. Sir, what will be the profit under costing books? What will be the profit here? 85,000. This is a case of over absorption. That means actual overheads were 10,000 and the overheads absorbed should be 10,000, but you have absorbed 15,000. right? Absorbed means you have taken it as an expense in the cost books, right? So my costing profit is 85,000 and my financial profit is 90,000. If I have to adjust this profit now, what should I do? What is the over absorption? Sir, in this case, what is my over absorption? What is my over absorption? That is 5,000. Sir, what should I do? How much adjustment should be done in the costing book so that my costing profits and my financial profits are equal? Sir, I will add 5,000 here so that my costing profit is 90,000 and it matches with my financial books. So what I am doing is I am not adding the absorbed overheads. What I am adding is only the over absorption part, right? 10,000 was to be absorbed, that is fine. But how much extra you have absorbed, that is 5,000 rupees. So I will add that 5,000 rupees at the over absorbed overheads only, not the absorbed overheads. What I'm saying is I'm adding the over absorbed overheads, right? I hope this much is clear, right? So we are done with over absorption, and here only we'll discuss about the under absorption also. Let's come to under absorption also. So here we have the cost books and we are preparing the financial books. So we have a profit of 1 lakh rupees, and in the financial books also we have a profit of 1 lakh rupees. Other information given is actual overheads. Actual overheads is 15,000 and absorbed overheads is 10,000 rupees. So can you tell me whether it is a case of over absorption or under absorption? Sir, it is clearly a case of under absorption. Sir, can you tell me the value of under absorbed overheads? That is 5,000. Any doubts? Right? Now, same way, what we have to do is the actual overheads will go where? The actual overheads will be taken to the financial books, because the financial books always record the actual figures which have actually been incurred, right? So here I will take overheads 15,000 and absorbed overheads will go where? To the costing books, sir, 10,000. Now, can you tell me the profit under both the options? Net profit here 85,000 and net profit here is 90,000. Now, it's the adjustment time. How to adjust? Now, see, there is a difference of 5,000 that is equivalent to my under absorption. How to adjust this, sir? I am adjusting my costing profits as per the financial books. That means I will have to subtract this 5,000 rupees so that my profit is 85,000, right? And it matches with my financial profits. Right, that means in case of under absorption, we have to subtract the under absorbed overheads. Listen to this very, very carefully. I'm saying you do not have to subtract the absorbed overheads. You have to subtract only the under absorption. The adjustment is to be done only and only for the under and over absorption and not for the total absorption. Right, that is very important to remember in the examination. Clear? So we are done with the under absorption. Now, depreciation overcharged in cost accounts. Sir, what will you do? See, in this case, read the question very carefully. It might be given in the question that depreciation overcharged in the financial accounts. Here I am taking that the depreciation charged in the cost accounts. So let's first consider this scenario. Cost accounting books and we have the financial books. So here the profit is 1 lakh. Here also the profit is 1 lakh. The depreciation charged in the financial books is 10,000 and the depreciation charged in the costing books is 15,000. As per this statement, the depreciation overcharged in cost accounts, right? I'll come to the other scenario also, don't worry about it. Now he's saying depreciation overcharged in cost account. In the financial books, it is 10,000. In the cost books, it is 15,000. So what should be my net profit? My net profit in this case will be 90,000 and my net profit in this case will be 85,000. Now it's time for adjustment. What you will do? What is the overcharging depreciation? 5,000. So I will add this overcharged depreciation of 5,000. So my profit is same. See, I'm adding it. Any doubts? Similarly, the reversal will be the case of undercharged in the cost accounts, right? Now this much you can understand. Now, in the question, do not, you don't have to cram these things. You have to understand these things, because in the examination, what will happen is you will always get a twist. Now you will say that, sir, in your book it was given overcharged in the cost accounts only, but in the exam it was financial accounts. What is the difference? What is the problem? If the question says depreciation overcharged in financial accounts, in that case, what will be the treatment? Let me show you. I'll change this only. I'll change this part, right? I'll change this part. Now, if your question says that depreciation overcharged in financial books, that means here you are charging a depreciation of 15,000. Here you are charging a depreciation of 10,000. Your profit here will be 85,000. Your profit here will be 90,000. Now in this case, what will I do? In this case, I will not add. I will subtract 5,000 from here. Simple. My profit will be 85,000, which will match with the financial books. Any doubts? So what is important is to read the question very carefully in the examination, that what is written in the question, whether it is the cost books given and whether it is the financial books. That is why I am telling you this method of solving, right? Quickly do it in the examination. Just you can do it in your mind also if you are that fertile, or I can say if you have done that much of practice, right? But this is the best way of identifying that whether a profit, whether an item should be subtracted or added to the profit. Clear? Next, overvalued opening stock in cost account. Sir, it is added. Overvalued opening stock in cost account. Now listen to this very carefully. I am going to prepare now trading account. I'm going to prepare now trading account. Clear? Sir, what will happen in the cost books and what will happen in the financial books? Say you have sales of 1 lakh, you have closing stock of say 50,000, you have a opening stock of say 30,000. Right, you do not have any purchases. I am not going to consider the purchases. What is going to be your profit? GP or NP, whatever it is, right? It is going to be 1 lakh plus 50,000 minus 30, 1,20,000. This is as per cost books. Now what will happen in the financial books? Sales 1 lakh, closing stock 50,000. Now in this case here, my opening stock, say it is 20,000, because as per this statement, I'm saying overvalued opening stock in cost books, right? So in the cost books, the value of opening stock is more than that in the financial books, overvalued. So in the financial books, it is 20,000. So what will be my profit? What will be my profit? My profit will be 1,30,000. Now, what should be the adjustment? What should be the adjustment, sir? Now I have to make the cost profit 1,30,000. I have to adjust the cost profit in such a way that my cost profit should be 1,30,000 and it matches with the financial books. That means I will have to add the 10,000, right? So my profit is 1,30,000 and it matches with the financial profit. Sir, what is this 10,000? This 10,000 is the overvaluation of opening stock here. It is the difference here. It is the difference of opening stock under the cost books and the financial books. Clear? Similarly, if it is undervalued, it will be a reversal of situation. And in case, in the question, if you are given the overcharging in the financial books instead of the cost books, then again the problem, instead of addition, you will subtract. The treatment will change. That is why I am again saying you should read the question in the examination very carefully, and accordingly you should try to analyze in the mind that whether that item will be subtracted or added. Right? What will happen if we prepare these kind of the books? What will happen? Clear? So we are done with the overvalued. Undervalued opening stock you can do on your own. Overvalued closing stock. Great, sir. Overvalued closing stock. So that means let's change here only, right? I'll change few things here and we'll try to understand what will change and what will not change, right? Let's say the sale remains the same. Now, in this case, we are talking about the closing stock now. Let's say the opening stock is 50,000, right? Opening stock is say 50,000. And the closing stock in cost books is overvalued. I say 30,000. And in the financial books, let's say it is 20,000. Now, what will be my profit? What will be my profit? 80,000 in this case, right? 80,000 in this case and 70,000 in this case. Any doubts? Right? The difference is due to the difference in the valuation of closing stock. Closing stock is overvalued in cost books. For the adjustment purpose, what will I have to do? I have to subtract the 10,000 so that my costing profit matches with my financial profits. 70,000 each. Any doubts? So that means in case of overvaluation of closing stock in the costing books, we will subtract it, and in case of undervaluation, we will have to add it. Undervaluation added, and ultimately you will reach the net profit as per financial books. There can be some other item also, right? But this is a kind of normally what it is asked in the examination, right? There can be a twist, like I have taken as per the costing books. Now in the exam you might be given the things as per the financial books, right? So what you have to do is you have to treat it this way. You have to prepare this and check whether an item will be subtracted or whether an item will be added. This is the best way to avoid any kind of a mistake. Especially if you can make it a habit of making these things during the practice, right? During when you are revising the subject or you are practicing the questions now. During this thing, if this time, if you can make this an habit, right, then your mind will work in such a manner in the examination you will not need to make this. Your mind automatically will tell you whether it is to be added or whether it is to be subtracted. But be careful about few things. The one thing, that which profit are you starting with? That means you are going to adjust this profit, right? That means this profit is going to be, this profit will be adjusted. This profit will be adjusted. Right? You are going to adjust this profit with which you are going to start, and you will reach the profit at the end, the other profit at the end. Right? So this is a simple reconciliation statement that you prepare, and this kind of a statement can be asked in the examination for 5 marks. Now, sir, there is another thing. After that, we'll be left with only the practical part, right? There is one memorandum reconciliation account. Sir, what is this memorandum reconciliation account? Sir, this is nothing but we are presenting this statement in a tabular form. That's it. In a T form. That's it. Right? We are starting with the net profit as per the cost accounts. Right? We'll add whatever we have been adding in the statement. We'll subtract whatever we have been subtracting in the statement, and we will reach to the profit as per the financial accounts. And reverse also we can do. We can start with the financial accounts and reach as per the cost accounts. That is no issues, right? So you are starting with the profit as per cost account. You are adding, making additions. All those things which were being added here, right, will be written on this side. Whatever the items were being subtracted in this statement, they will be written on this side, and ultimately you will reach the financial profits. Now, sir, is this topic important? Yes, memorandum reconciliation account has been asked in the past in the examination for 5 marks, and it can be asked again. Right? So there is no difference, sir. If you remember this statement, if you have learned that how to prepare this statement, then memorandum reconciliation account is nothing. Right? You have to just start with the profit, then all the additions on one side, all the subtractions on one side, ultimately you will reach the other end of the profits. Clear? So with this, our theoretical part of reconciliation is complete, sir. This is an important chapter from examination point of view. We often expect a question from reconciliation, right? 5 marks question, 10 marks question. In the July 2021 exams, a 10 marks question was asked from the reconciliation only, right? So we have to be very, very, very careful with this chapter. It is an easy one, and often the institute asks from the easy chapters. Why, sir? Why institute is interested in easy chapters? Because this is where the chances of mistakes are very high. The student is quite confident, this chapter is very easy, right? This is what? Nothing. This is a very easy chapter, right? And when the question comes in the examination, everybody is, sir, from which chapter this question is? We have not studied this chapter. Why we have not studied this? Because it was an easy chapter, right? So this is where, we commit mistakes. Now, in the next lecture, we are not going to do anything more in this lecture now. In the next lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to start with the practical problems. This practical problem file available on the Android mobile app, right? We'll start with question number 1, question number 2. I think question number 1 is your homework. I'll give it to you for your homework because question number 2 is similar. I'll do question number 2 for you people, right? Question number 1 I will give you for homework. Let's see. I don't know. In the next lecture, we'll see. We might do it, right? Then question number 3. Question number 3 is very good. Question number 4, 5, and 6. So all in all, we have to do 6 questions. Let's see. 2 to 3 lectures maybe. Whatever it be, we'll go slow. We'll try to understand each and everything. That is very, 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 very important, right? We'll go slow. Take it easy, and keep enjoying. Revise whatever we have done, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.